Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And now the big question that I have for you guys today is, do you think a big market crash is coming up soon, or do you think it's still very far away? Comment your opinion down below because I'm really interested in talking and discussing this subject. And I'm going to try read all the comments and reply to all the questions. So if you have any, put it down below as well. Now, guys, today I want to talk a little bit about this subject surrounding, the market crash coming up, but also the banking system failing. And I have my own personal thesis or theory on the banking system failing, and that has to do with negative interest rates, where I personally believe that if the US is going to go through with negative interest rates, all those banks and entities in Europe won't be able to get their positive yield, so yield above zero, anywhere anymore, and thus really the whole banking system kind of does not work anymore because, well, what would you use a bank account for, since it all costs money and all that type of stuff? It's all like a very strange system that you would get if all the rates are below zero. And when I thought about that, I'm like, well, with all this QE going on as well, it's not looking too good, because normally to ease the economy, you put your negative your rates even lower. But if your rates are already negative, putting it lower has almost no effect. I had a whole theory about that earlier, but yeah, just take it from me for now. So today, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but also, if you are enjoying the daily crypto news, well, it wouldn't hurt if you pressed the like button and subscribed, and if you change your mind later about subscribing, you can always unsubscribe, so, where's the harm? Now, the first tweet of today comes from Grimace McDonald. He said, "The Fed ended bank repos. Wow. Saw it thanks to FO Gator Trader last night. Now it's official, banks have to stand up on their own. I'm a little baffled, but I guess Powell is done selling liquidity crack to the banks. Will history repeat itself?" And then an official, report here from Fed Economic Research, Observations 0 here, where there was a ton of before under assets, other repurchase agreements, Wednesday level, units, millions of US dollars, and now there are 0 of repurchase agreements coming up here. You can see the category, factors affecting reserve balances, and yeah, it dropped, we're here. It dropped tremendously, but it's kind of what happened over at this period right here. And I find it kind of interesting that this part is already seen as a little bit of a recession. This part in 2020. Is that really what we call a recession now? Really? Interesting. But I guess that just depends on how you view it all. But I remember back in school when I used to always have to browse through this type of stuff. These big economic data types of websites, just scrolling through and seeing similarities, and oh my days. But a very good find, very, very interesting, and also very crazy how rapidly this declined. So I'm also wondering exactly what's going on surrounding that. But the Bearable Bull replied and also said, "This might be the catalyst we've been waiting for. Hashtag XRP." And I think that hashtag XRP and really the whole catalyst here has nothing to do with really the banking system being complete. Well, actually, maybe it has to do with the banking system being overthrown, in the sense of XRP is going to come out as victorious, as the new one world currency, changing everything, becoming the #1 thing, and everybody's going to be using it for everything and whatnot, because the banking system will collapse and everybody will step back to yada, 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 all those talks, you guys know it. And yeah, I'm also wondering a little bit about what you think about that. Do you think that's normal, or do you think that's really stupid? And more so, do you think there's some truth behind this? It's kind of looking like the 2008 situation is coming back around, and that could mean two things. Either what we're seeing here is going to repeat itself literally, where just after this all kind of ends, the recession is kind of over, even though the recession is kind of indicated as being already over like half a year ago or so. At least that's kind of what it's looking like. On the contrary, it could also be that this really is the big catalyst of an even bigger crisis or something like that, or just really the system changing up and people not supporting the banks anymore. There could be a lot of things going on here, and a lot of unknown variables are still at play. But I'm wondering what you guys think about the situation, because it is quite crazy. Christopher Green said on Twitter, You'll never see XRP under 20, or actually 0.20 cents, which should be $0.20 or 20 cents again. Next stop, $2,000. And you guys know I'm really not a fan of these types of tweets, because I think you're hurting the community more than you're doing good for it, right? And it could be that he's a Bitcoin maxi, by the way. I don't know him too much. Maybe he's a Bitcoin maxi trying to troll XRP, but maybe he's an XRP supporter really trying to hype people up. I don't really know, but the truth is it's a pretty stupid tweet. I just pressed it away by accident. It's a pretty stupid tweet because, well, we all know there's going to be dips, right? And of course it's going to go below 20 cents. Again, that's the same thing by saying Bitcoin is never going to go under $9,000. I expect you to do that, right? I expect Bitcoin to still go below 9,000, and I'm not going to bet that it's not going to get there because, well, there's a very high likelihood, very good chance. Same for XRP ever hitting 17.5 cents again. There's a good chance, I'm not going to say it's gonna, but I'm not going to say it isn't either, just because it's just a pretty close point, and a lot of stuff could happen in just a split of an eye here. So making those bets is a pretty dangerous game, at least in my opinion. By the way, I've also been getting more and more active on Twitter, as a couple of you guys said, hey man, just put your thoughts down there, or at least inform us some more as well, so it's really useful to follow you. I'm going to try that, just retweeting more stuff and just posting more of my thoughts and a lot of that type of stuff, which I think you guys will enjoy, just because I think it helps. I think it helps with also just sharing the stuff that I find with y'all, so you don't miss out. And I'll just share it as soon as I see it, as I said, so you don't miss out. Brad Garlinghouse said on Twitter, as a reply to Ashish Burla, who said earlier, as more countries research a potential CBDC, central bank digital currency, China is rolling out a robust distribution strategy for its digital yuan. It's only a matter of time before payments in Asia and beyond look drastically different, likely heavily influenced by China. There's a potential to make Didi, Chinese Uber, a massive payments player in short order. But also interesting that Didi was selected to pilot this ahead of incumbent digital wallets like Alipay, WeChat, etc. Where does this leave Chinese retail banks? In China's CBDC strategy to level the playing field, or are they moving away from bank pilots to give upstarts an advantage? I don't know. I do not know, but it's a very interesting subject and very interesting find as well. It's an article on Fortune.com, but Brad Garlinghouse himself, the GOAT, replied and said, what everyone else considers crawling, China is walking. And that might be for two reasons. One is that just China is actually very much ahead of the game and does walking instead of crawling, because they're actually, putting foot by foot. Is that how you say that? To really get things done instead of thinking about it. That possibly could be like people are considering, small steps, but China has really taken and then some bigger steps. And the second one could be that China is thinking of something else than the rest, which is to not do it for banks completely at the start, but go for things like Didi here instead of the digital wallets like Alipay, WeChat, or just retail banks. You guys get it. It's a little bit of a different approach, and maybe China's ahead of the game with that, with a whole different strategy and some 500 IQ plays. I don't know. A lot of things could be going on here. It's a little cryptic, to be completely honest with you, because exactly what do we fetch from it? But it's a cool idea. It's definitely interesting how they're doing all of this. Remarkable XRP and Bitcoin statement from the Ripple CTO. David Schwartz stated that XRP is 57,000 times more sustainable than Bitcoin. CTO David Schwartz, one of Ripple's most authoritative executives after the CEO, announced the key difference between XRP and Bitcoin, touching on the environmental friendliness that many Bitcoin critics have touched on. Schwartz said that the Bitcoin is not suitable for a sustainable world. And that's just one thing I want to quickly reiterate or touch upon again, and that is the fact that XRP is really in a good spot right now in terms of, for example, goodwill. With a lot of the articles coming out that people are buying huge heaps. For example, that one person was buying heavily into it and saying it could go up 1,500%, right? Which I talked about yesterday. A lot of others are of that opinion right now as we speak. A lot of good news and good vibes are coming along. But also because with a growing concern for sustainability, XRP is one of the top coins here that will be able to survive. So when you're looking at this top 4 here, or top 5 even, or top 6 for that matter, I guess Tether I don't really consider a crypto. Let's do top 5 cryptocurrencies including Tether, because who cares about Tether? Even though most of this is deployed on Ethereum, and thus, you can kind of see this as Ethereum as well. Whatever. But let's say the top 5 cryptocurrency. Yeah, XRP is really the only one that could really live in a modern world until Ethereum 2.0, which might be till the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And from that point, we're going to have to, reconsider all the things we said about Ethereum. But for right now, Ethereum is not there just quite yet. And thus, yeah, they're in a pretty bad spot if I do say so myself. And Bitcoin, same exact situation. They're not doing too good. And that made me wonder exactly how it could be that XRP is not higher up and doesn't have more of a dominance in the game, because they are sustainable, where Bitcoin and Ethereum both are really not that much. And especially with this growing concern, I would have expected people to boycott Bitcoin already, because there's such a huge waste of electricity. It's just really insane. Then also Leonidas Hadjiloizou posted on Twitter, Q1, Q2 2020 XRP report, Survival of the Fittest, a report summarizing important developments during the first half of 2020 with some analysis. Please be patient with the loading time. So if you check out the XRP arcade here, you'll see a very interesting post, which we're going to go over in a lot of detail tomorrow. But for today, I'm just showing you guys really quickly what it is all about. It's a very big summary of the first 2 quarters of 2020 surrounding XRP. And the reason this stuff is important, I mean, if it's not obvious enough for y'all, you get a little bit of a summary about what the frick they have been putting up with, or what they've been doing, and what's all been happening. Because right now, I think a lot of people are lost with what exactly happened to XRP and why ODL is not at the top yet, why this volume has all been going like crazy over a longer time. Yeah, all that stuff can kind of be summarized and kind of, be helped out or whatever by just reading one summary just like this. Now, it will take you a couple hours to read through this. Yes, sir. But it's going to be worth it because you get a very good update on all the things that happened. And I think you'll be more knowledgeable of what is going on with XRP today, or actually the whole year, really, if we're being honest. It could be that I'm doing this in my last video of tonight, but I don't think so. I think I got too much news to talk about today, and I don't want to, go over this for the next hour or so. So I think this is going to be something for tomorrow. If you guys are interested, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below to go over the most important points. If not, just let me know. I'll consider all your opinions because you are important to me. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very enjoyable, juicy, and nice weekend.